Welcome back to the 21 Convention 2019 of Orlando, Florida. Our next speaker is the host of the Sharp Reality, broadcasting live out of TSR Towers. He's also a frequent host of the Red Man Group and a returning alumni speaker to the 21 Convention. Gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage, Donovan Sharp.
Welcome back. So I was going to come up here and be Captain fucking Red Pill, right? Had my red shirt, had it all ironed. I was looking good, feeling good, looking at myself in the mirror. You the man. Throwing on the cologne oil, everything is good. Put it on my arms, everything, put it on my chest. All of a sudden it starts to bleed through, right? So now I'm fucked. Well, what color shirt do I pick? Do I pick the red, do I pick the pink one, or do I pick the turquoise one? I said, what the hell? I'm talking about masculinity. Might as well wear the pink. At any rate, it is great to be here. This is going to be a relatively short speech. I'm not one to drone on and on, at least not live. I'm going to open it up for questions. I don't know, maybe the last 15, 20 minutes, if you guys want to ask me anything. But yesterday I made an appearance on somebody else's YouTube channel. And anyone who's followed me for any number of months, years, whatever the case may be, you guys know that I've been historically pretty harsh on the group of men that call themselves MGTOWs, right? Any MGTOWs in the audience? No? All right, good. A lot of liars, I'm kidding. So the reason I made the appearance on this show is because the guy who hosts the show didn't really appear to have the characteristics that I thought that these MGTOW guys had. Pretty good looking dude, has his shit together. Okay, so he's going through a divorce, but he understands, he knows red pill truth, and he tries to live the red pill life. He calls it the free agent lifestyle. Everybody has a term for it. I made an appearance on his show to get a better understanding about who these men going their own way are. And what I quickly began to realize is that I don't want to call it a preconceived notion, but what I had learned about them wasn't really who they were. And so that begs the question, a lot of guys tend to rush to judgment when we see certain things. Now, I'm of the mind, we all hear the old adage, you can't judge a book by its cover. Sure you can, right? No, you can't always judge a book by its cover, guys, but you can about 95% of the time. So I decided, all right, I've seen the cover of the book. I see these guys bitching, moaning, whining, complaining about what they can't do, about what they can't have. I've had guys call into my show, oh, Donovan, it's too hard. I lose my mind with these guys. And I think to myself, there is no way that this guy who hosts this show, this MGTOW guy, there's no way that he's one of these people. So I made an appearance on a show, and I learned a lot about who these MGTOW guys are and about who these MGTOW guys aren't. But one thing that became very clear to me in the 5 minutes or so that I looked in the chat, I said I wouldn't, but I always do, right? In about the 5 minutes or so I looked in the chat, I noticed that there were a lot of guys who lacked a basic working knowledge, not only about red pill truth, but about basic masculinity. We all bag on millennials all the time. Millennials don't know how to change a tire, right? We've all heard it. Listen, a millennial will program a smartphone, they'll jailbreak an iPhone, but they couldn't change a tire on the side of the road if their life depended on it. Obviously, our forefathers used to work with their hands. Fortunately for me, I'm part of the generation that used to work with their hands. Kind of sort of passed down onto me, right? I'm a Gen Xer. But the point is that men these days, there are grown men in their 30s and sometimes even their 40s who lack the basic principles, the basic pillars of masculinity. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about the 3 pillars of masculinity. Now, I don't want to risk any sort of copyright thing, but I'll give you guys sort of a clue. It's going to be BMW, all right? And I'll probably change that maybe over the next few months or so just to make sure that I stay away from that kind of stuff, but it's BMW. And I know you guys are probably thinking you might know what it is. I can promise you some of you might be right, most of you might be wrong. Before we get to the pillars of masculinity, these are a few of the elements, okay? The pillars create the elements. The 3 pillars I'm going to talk about today help the elements come into play, come into focus. Confidence, decision-making, critical thinking, which is critical, frame, leadership, dominance, and respect. You can't accomplish any of these things, at least not in a real sense. A lot of guys can fake confidence, right? A lot of guys can act like they have frame. A lot of guys can, act like they're dominant. I think there's a track by Jay-Z that, I think it's 99 Problems, but a bitch ain't one. And he's talking about some dude talking shit to him. And what he said about this guy, he says, you know the type, loud as a motorbike, but wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. That kind of guy has no idea what the pillars are or how to accomplish them. So again, the pillars create the elements. You cannot have the elements in place. You cannot have them firmly in place if you don't have the pillars in place. BMW. Let's get started. The first element is body, as you guys probably all have guessed. Put simply, guys, you change your body, you change your life. Of the three elements, this is the pillar that makes the most difference the fastest. I get emails and messages all the time. Donovan, how can I fuck a bunch of bitches? I live at home with my mom, but I want a steady rotation of 9s and 10s. Is this possible, they ask me. I tell them, well, sure, right? But you said you were a fat ass. How fat are we talking? I'm 350 pounds. Whoa. Yeah, but there was Biggie Smalls. Yeah, that was Biggie fucking Smalls, man. Now, Biggie didn't have this particular pillar, right? We all know that. Biggie was passing around bitches like a cold, as he said in one of his tracks. Biggie's the exception to the rule. We're not going to talk about celebrities. We're not going to talk about professional athletes. We're not going to talk about recording artists. We're talking about guys like you and me, the everyday guys. The picture you see on your left, that was me when I was married. Ex-wife was a decent cook. I ate a lot. I was 312 pounds in that picture. I don't know how much I weigh in the picture on the right, but it's a hell of a lot less than that. And I think I've got an extra chin. I never saw that double chin in this picture until just now. Holy shit. I did have a nice set of tits. I was probably a B cup when I was 312 pounds, so I had that going for me. The first thing that building a strong body, a strong physique, the first thing it affects is your confidence, guys. A better physique means you have better confidence. A better physique means you have more strength. Got a good friend of mine on the way up here. He's driving from Miami. His name is Meyer, and hopefully you guys can see him. That guy's body is a temple. He used to be a fat ass. He actually used to be 254 pounds. How this applies to you, it's simple. As soon as you start dropping weight, when you get into shape, when you step from the before to the after, guys, your life changes in every conceivable way. Everybody treats you differently. The world treats you differently. You treat the world differently. All you have to do is have the discipline. I'm not going to sit up here and you can do anything you put your mind to. No, the fuck you can't. You kidding me? That's bullshit. You can do anything you put your mind to, but you certainly need help. And building these pillars is part of that help. Having a good physique, you have a sound and clear mind. You can handle stress and make better decisions in life. How many of us in here have made bad decisions? Everybody raise your hand. Just everybody raise your hand. Right? Okay? When you have an elite physique, or at least a better physique, you handle stress better, and handling stress better allows you to make better decisions. We've all made very small, what seem to be not so significant decisions that alter the course of our lives forever. You want to make sure that your mind is as sound as possible. There are other things that can help that. Yes, you can read, you can write, you can take up hobbies, whatever. It starts with the body. Problem solving. When you have a better physique, you have improved concentration. You can think through complex tasks. Obviously, both of those aid in good decision making. And again, I know this seems remedial. I know this seems basic, right? But being a man, being masculine is not difficult. It's not complicated. Oh, let me go back. Leadership. Very few leaders are in terrible shape. How many obese leaders do we have? I don't know, Luciano Pavarotti? Maybe? What did he die at, like 60-something? Listen, one of the greatest tenors in history, not a very good leader. Why? Because he was a fat ass. Oh my God, Donovan, you said somebody can't be a good leader if they're a fat ass. No, not at all. But if you want people to take you seriously, you cannot be a fat ass. This is all there is to it. You cannot lead men, you cannot lead women if they won't give you the opportunity to lead. That's just all there is to it, guys. If you're a fat ass, if you're disheveled, if you're slovenly, you're not going to get many chances to lead. Maybe you'll get a chance to lead other fat asses, but who the hell wants to lead fat asses, right? Raise your hand. Didn't think so. That last line says part of leadership is looking the part. A lot of women out there like to bitch and moan. I don't have my girl voice today, which really fucking sucks. But they like to say, well, studies show that taller people are more successful. Listen, that may or may not be true to whatever extent, but I do know this. I've never seen or heard of a fat CEO. You cannot expect people to follow you if you do not look the part. Now, not everybody is a leader. I understand that. But just because you're not a leader of men doesn't mean you can't be a leader in your own relationship, in your own life. You can be the leader of your family. I have a father. All of us in here have fathers. Maybe some of us know him. Maybe some of us don't. But when it comes to the Sharp family, my 2 brothers and 2 sisters, my mom and my dad, I run the goddamn household. Not my dad. My dad's a pussy. I'm sorry. That's how it is, man. My dad is kind of a fat ass. That's part of it. Frame. Having a good physique, having strength, this is simple. You know that you can defend yourself if the shit hits the fan. Part of being confident in any situation, and this can be social, romantic, family, whatever the case may be, is knowing you can defend yourself. How many of us have been in a fight? How many of us have won fights? How many of us have been beaten in a fight? Oh, wow. I was hoping for a better record than that, right? Yeah, I've got my ass kicked a few times. We all hear the cliche, well, you should see the other guy. That was my intent. If you know that if the shit hits the fan, you're not going to get your ass curb stomped, you're going to do physical damage or possibly even win that fight, guess what? You walk a little taller, right? You got a little bit more swag. Now all of a sudden you're breathing easier. You're speaking more clearly. You're looking people in the eye. Why? Because of that primal instinct. Hey, if shit gets real, I know I can fuck somebody up. Why? Because I'm in good shape. Yeah, there are a lot of fat guys who can fight, right? We know that. But again, who wants to be a fat guy who can fight? Dominance. Oh, yeah. Not a lot of fat or obese dominant people out there. Texas Dom, I think I see you right there. Raise your hand for me. Yep, there he is. Tex, are there a lot of fat doms in the dom sub industry?
Yeah, they have fat subs.
There you go. Absolutely. Very good answer. And again, who wants a fat fucking sub? Right? And by the way, this is just off script here. How do really fat people have sex? Right? Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put that in your mind. People respect dominance more from men who are physically elite. Yes, there are domineering men who are a bit overweight. There are domineering men who are obese. But if you look like the guy on the left, people aren't going to look at you the same as if you look like the guy on the right. This is life, guys. Oh my God, that's not fair. Fuck fair. This is how it is. Guys ask all the time, oh, I just can't do it with girls. I've tried everything. Well, what's your fitness level like? Well, you change your body, you change your life. I'm living proof. Respect. A great physique signifies a few things: self-worth, discipline, consistency, competence. These are all respectable masculine characteristics. When you see a guy who's in really, really good shape just kind of walk across the room, all the girls are like, now why do they look at that? Well, number one, because he looks good. They want to fuck him, they want to have his kids. They don't know that. They don't know that that's what they're thinking, but this is the feminine hard drive. But the second reason is that having a great physique automatically, subconsciously checks off all of the boxes. We all know people who seemingly get the benefit of the doubt. That guy just gets lucky. Everywhere he goes, life just seems to just work for him. The guy's probably in pretty good shape. We've all heard the old cliche, the harder you work, the luckier you get. Have we heard that before? Let me see a show of hands. Well, the same goes with the physique. And again, looking good, being strong physically isn't everything. But I'm telling you right now, just based on what I've experienced in my life, if you are in great shape, or if you are in better shape than most people, your life will be different. You will experience life differently than what the 67% of people in this country who are not in good shape. If you want to separate yourself from, 67% of men, just get yourself in good shape. Life will start to get better, I can assure you that. Then, of course, respect. An elite physique, or good physique, speaks for itself. People tend to defer to other people who are in better shape. And it doesn't matter what the situation is. Of course, at the gym, all right, well, how do I do curls? How do I do a squat, bench press? All right, you want to go to the jack guy, the oak guy, the guy in good shape. Well, you'd be surprised. You think to yourself, in any situation, if you're in a cooking class, you know what? Everyone seems to be asking that guy all the questions. Chances are he's probably in pretty good shape. If people defer to you, odds are you're not a fat ass. Right? Now, how? Listen, I'm not a fitness expert, okay? I'm not going to pretend to be a fitness expert. My formula is eat clean, lift heavy. Now, if you want to build that first pillar, build that strong body, do whatever you have to do. And I'm talking about whatever you have to do. I don't care if you don't have the time. I don't care if you have the money. You make time. When things are a priority to you, you make it happen. There is no excuse. There is no excuse to be a fat ass in this day and age. There is no excuse for me to be looking like the guy on the left, guys. No excuse. I still love to eat, but I love to eat and I was fucking lazy. My life sucked. I was married to a fat woman who talked to me. Her words even looked fat. Everything we did was fucking fat. Life sucked because life was fat. It just sucked. I'm sweaty all the time. It was terrible. You change your body, you change your life. And guys, that's not hyperbole. If you change your body, your life will change. I can't put it any simpler than that. The second pillar is your mind. Mental strength and intelligence. Now, I guess I probably should have used another word instead of intelligence, but there are a lot of people out here who have book smarts. They have college degrees, things of that nature. Not very smart. Then, you got street thugs, guys who, live that street life. I'm going to keep it clean. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? All my brothers in the audience. All right, I'm trying to lay out the breadcrumbs here. Mental strength and aptitude. That is a pillar of masculinity. I don't know anyone who is masculine who's a fucking dumbass. Do you? Well, I know a guy who's 6'4", he's jacked, and he fucks a bunch of bitches. Oh, so because he sleeps with a lot of girls, he's a masculine guy? Oh, I used to be that guy. I used to think, yeah. The more bitches you bang, the more masculine you are. We'll get to that later. Mental strength translates to physical confidence. If you know how to get into shape, you get into good shape, you're more confident. Intelligence breeds confidence. If you're an expert at something, I got my man Jesse right here in the front row. This guy's a fucking rock star. I can promise you, on the stage, he knows what the hell he's doing. He is confident. When girls throw their panties up onto the stage, it's because he exudes confidence, much to the chagrin of a significant other, which, by the way, is not necessarily a bad thing. Decision making. Being well learned on something helps you to make better decisions. If you are educated in finances, and you don't have to be, what's the guy's name? Dave Ramsey, right? You don't have to be Neil Cavuto. You don't have to be any of those guys. Just educate yourself on finances, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. There we go. Problem solving. This is a big one for me. Problem solving is where a lot of men fall hopelessly short. They see a problem, oh, I can't figure it out, because you can't find it on YouTube, or you can't Google something, it doesn't just come up in a Google search, oh, I can't do it, No. If you have mental strength, if you've got that mental fortitude or testicular fortitude, which translates to mental strength, this is greatly helpful in terms of critical thinking skills. You want to know why most surgeons, pilots, and lawyers are men? You want to know why? Other than the cock and balls? It's because of mental strength, guys. Education, mental strength. And I'm not the guy who's going to be up here saying, oh, you got to go to college. No. When you develop mental strength, you can do great things. And again, I don't want to be Mr. Success Porn, but critical thinking is critical to life. Surgeons, pilots, lawyers, you got to think on the fly. Not everything goes as scripted all the time. If somebody's aorta bursts or whatever, I'm not a surgeon. Critical thinking skills, if you're mentally strong, you can handle that. Someone who's a mental midget, oh my God, the person bleeds out. A pilot, if an engine blows or, God forbid something worse happens, you have to think your way out of that. Sullenberger. You guys remember that situation? He took off, I think, from LaGuardia, bird strike. The guy put the plane into the Hudson River. You think that guy is mentally weak? Fuck no. Man, listen, I'm going to keep it real. If I'm a pilot and I'm flying that plane and there's a bird strike and the plane's going down, I'm like, all right, that's it. When you are an expert at something, when you educate yourself on certain things, you get that mental strength. Mental strength equals confidence. Frame. Knowledge is power is a cliche for a reason. It's because it's true. The more you know, the more powerful you are. And there are many different kinds of power. I'm not going to get into that. But again, mental strength, I believe, is probably number 2 in terms of the importance of the pillars. Yeah, you can have a strong body, and you can have a strong W. We'll get to that in just a second. But if you don't have good decision-making skills, if you haven't educated yourself in something, if you haven't worked hard to become mentally strong, at some point, the body is going to fail if you don't have mental strength, and the W is also going to fail. You guys are going to see about that here in a minute. Dominance. Social dominance is a critical element of masculinity. Doms know how to psychologically mind fuck their subs. Anytime a girl says, oh God, he just mind fucks me, you're doing it right. Mental strength, guys. Social aptitude. I'm jumping the gun here. CEOs and executives, to continue dominance, they are all adept at psychologically and socially dominating their subordinates. Yeah, there are probably a few CEOs that might be mental midgets, but not too many of them out there. To lead men, football coaches, baseball coaches, I'm a big sports guy. To be a good football coach, you got to take 53 alpha males from wherever they came from and get them all to do the same thing. And oh, by the way, most of these guys are millionaires. You cannot do that if you are not socially dominant. You cannot do that if you are mentally weak. Mental strength allows you to dominate people mentally. Well, I don't really think I want to dominate people mentally. If you are not dominating people mentally, then you are the one being mentally dominated, guys. It is kill or be killed. It's either one or the other. Fucked or get fucked. Then, of course, there's leadership. All great leaders have mental strength. But more importantly, they know what they don't know. I try to teach men how to live a better life, right? Well, part of living that better life is having a strong body. I'm not a fitness expert, so what do? I try to have fitness experts come onto my show. It's the same with the last element, which I'm going to get to here in a minute. Okay, it's great to have mental strength, but knowing what you know is great. Knowing what you don't know is probably even more important. Don't be that meathead guy who thinks he knows it all, who thinks he has to have all the answers. And then, of course, respect. Men and women alike respect mental strength, social aptitude, and intelligence. If you want to be that guy who comes in and owns the room, you can't be a dumbass. You have to be mentally strong. Now, this is important. How do we develop mental strength? Well, the brain is kind of like a muscle, sort of. The more you work that muscle, the bigger it gets, the more it's able to do whatever task that you put to it. Well, repetition builds muscle memory. PGA golfers, they hit probably hundreds of thousands of balls. You see them step to the tee, they hit it straight right down the middle. They make it look very easy. Oh, no. That is not easy to do, guys. I've tried it. I suck at it. Muscle memory, over and over and over again. You have to put yourself in challenging situations over and over and over again. If you want to build mental strength, take a jiu-jitsu class. Put your body and mind under duress. You're building a strong body and you're building a strong mind. Take up a boxing class. Go to a nightclub in Vegas and hit on girls. That'll get you mentally strong real quick. I wouldn't recommend that. And also, guys, listen, read, educate yourself, guys. Not a lot, there are so many men who just don't pick up just crack open a book and read, right? They all like to watch YouTube videos, and that's all fine and dandy, but a lot of the content out there makes us dumber for just having watched it. Now there are some things that I do that I like to watch that make me dumber. I love the Maury Povich show, guys. I know. Every time I watch this show, I get dumber. That is low educational programming. If you've been injured in an accident, go to computer school, learn how to do people's nails for a living. Right? Low educational programming. That's my advice. Don't watch stuff like that. Don't watch it, at least watch that stuff a lot less than you read. Guys, pick up a book and read. Reading is a lost art, kind of like the mid-range jumper. The last pillar, I was going to put wallet, but finances sounded better. Now, how many of you thought that the last pillar was women? Okay, we got one honest guy in here. Anybody else?
That was wiener.
That's pillar number 4. Pillar 4. Finances. Now, when I say finances, I'm not saying that you got to be a rich guy. I'm not saying you have to be a fucking millionaire. You don't even have to be, I don't know, what do they call it, 100,000-aire? Just have financial shrewdness, guys. Be smart with your money. Financial stability equals confidence. Financial stability gives you confidence because you have options. Options breeds confidence. Confidence breeds options. Critical thinking, guys. Money gives you more options, which creates rational thinking. I'm going to tell you a personal story. I've been arrested more than 20 times, guys. Real talk. The first few times, it was fucking terrifying. You want to know why? Because I was as broke as a joke. I didn't have a bondsman. I didn't have a lawyer. I didn't have any of that stuff, right? When you're put in bad situations because of lack of money, you tend to do some pretty seedy things to try to get out of that situation. I've borrowed money. I've not scammed anybody. I haven't stolen any money. But I've borrowed money from friends. Hey, I'm in kind of a pickle. Can you loan me $5,000 or whatever? Let me think. If it's 15%, whatever 15% of $5,000. Can you loan me $750 to bond me out of here? That's a phone call that's shitty to make. Probably right around arrest number 17-ish, okay? This is when I was living in Vegas. I had money in my pocket then, right? Mr. Sharp, you are under arrest for aggravated assault. That's a pretty serious fucking charge, guys. I'm not asking guys to put their criminal records out there, but those of you who are familiar with the justice system and the penalties that aggravated assault carry, that's pretty fucking scary. When they're reading you your rights, you have the right to remain silent. Okay, so this is happening. Oh, but guess what? I got money in the bank. I got a bail bondsman I can call right now. Hey, I'm gonna be down at Clark County Detention, Clark County Holding. I need you to come get me. Be there in 30 minutes. What do you think my mind is doing then? You think I'm critically thinking well then, right? I'm not making bad decisions then. Having money helps you to make better decisions, guys. If you don't have money, you make bad decisions. People who are constantly broke, they're desperate and they make bad financial decisions, which leads to further financial ruin. People who are perpetually broke, in other words, living from paycheck to paycheck, They're always, and I don't want to call it gambling, but that's kind of what it is. A lot of these guys like to sort of gamble. They take unnecessary chances or risks trying to hit that home run because they don't see a way out. Having money, or actually rather being financially shrewd, being smart with your money, not buying fucking video games and cigarettes and sex dolls. Oh, did I say that out loud? Having your financial house in order helps you to make better decisions. Dominance. Now, money doesn't equal dominance. However, it can buy you the resources that can create dominance. Jiu-jitsu classes are very expensive, okay? But you learn to fight, you become more confident, you become more dominant. You guys see how this all ties together. One begets the other begets the other. It's a big circle. You can buy courses, you can buy education and equipment. All that stuff costs money. Donovan, how do I become a dominant guy? I don't know. Well, I've got $100,000 saved up. What do you recommend I do? Okay, well, now you're talking. Right? Hire a fashion consultant, maybe Tanner Guzzi. What is he charging, like $1,500 an hour, give or take? Take a jiu-jitsu class, take a wrestling class, learn to box, educational materials, and of course watch TSR Live. That's free, at least for now. Money doesn't equal dominance, but it can get you those resources. Money isn't everything, guys, but it kind of damn near is. Like, listen, man, I'm not trying to hear, well, money isn't everything. No, money isn't everything. Money can't buy you happiness, but it comes pretty goddamn close. Money can equal frame. Bad situations, emergencies. Financial stability is peace of mind. When Officer Vegas has put me in the handcuffs for the 17-ish time, I'm cool. Because I know I'm going to be out of jail in less than 30 minutes. Now, what happens after that, right? You never know. You never know what can happen in court. A lot of crazy things can happen in court. The point is I have peace of mind. Less stress, peace of mind. That leads to good decision making. Good decision making leads to confidence. Confidence equals frame. When people are broke, when they get arrested, you'd be surprised at how quickly they violate the first line of the Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. You want to know what that line really means when they say you have the right to remain silent? You have the right to shut the fuck up and not incriminate yourself. You don't have to say, I plead the fifth. The officer is pleading the fifth for you. You have the right to remain silent. If you don't have any money, if you think you're going to be in jail for a week or so, guess what? You start running off at the mouth, right? Then, of course, that second line comes into play. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. If you don't have money in the bank to get out of bad situations like that, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. If you have peace of mind, if you're good with money, if you can handle emergencies, and we're not just talking about legal situations, maybe family situations. I bailed some of my family members out of some pretty crazy situations. Maybe your car breaks down. Maybe your house catches on. Whatever the case may be, having your financial house in order gives you confidence, which gives you frame. Oh my God, Donovan, I totaled my car and my insurance lapsed. All right, cool, right? If your financial house is in order, and of course your insurance shouldn't lapse if your financial house is in order, but you guys get the point. If you have your financial house in order, you're more confident. Confidence equals frame. One begets the other. That's how that works. Then, of course, there's leadership. Now, money doesn't make a leader, but it can buy the resources to make you a good leader. How to become a leader and make friends. Books, seminars, experiences. A lot of guys like to buy a lot of stuff. Sometimes I can be like that. But I value experiences. Put yourself in situations, maybe if you have your financial house in order, put yourself in situations and have experiences that can make you a better leader, that can help you to build a stronger body, a stronger mind. Then there's respect. Now, money absolutely cannot buy respect. It can certainly buy deference, it can buy attention, it can buy Lamborghinis, it can buy cool shoes, it can buy women, right? Just because you can buy a woman doesn't mean you have her respect, guys. Having money doesn't equal respect. Financial stability equals respect. I'm here to tell you, people respect others who are good with money. My brothers are always calling me, Donovan, I came into some money, what do you think I should do with it? And I'm not a financial expert, but, you know, I'm kind of a miser sometimes. I know about saving money. I've got to have that peace of mind because of my proclivities. So, how do I become good at saving money? How do I become financially shrewd? I'm not a financial expert, guys, right? I'm not Dave Ramsey. I'm not Sue Zorman, right? But again, videos, books, seminars. I would highly, highly recommend Bachelor Pad Economics by Aaron Clarey, a.k.a. Captain Capitalism. Here we go. So you guys see this picture. Pretty fucking impressive, right? Fucked every one of these broads. Every one of them, including the two right here on different nights. Something to be proud of, right? Masculine, a macho. No, guys. Listen, man, there are a lot of guys who can sleep with a lot of women. And I think a lot of us have probably heard this cliche. Men always lose money chasing women, but you will never, ever, ever lose women chasing money. That's how this works. In the first Rocky, Mick said to Rocky, he said, women weaken legs. Fighters, the greatest fighters in history, they've all tried it both ways. Well, sometimes I have a training camp with women, sometimes I don't. They always fight better when there are no women involved. Women certainly have the potential to elevate our lives, but if you chase them first, they will weaken these pillars. I liken back to last year's speech. Found the red pill. You guys all know my story. If you don't, look it up, donovansharp.com. Went through a pretty messy breakup, but that wasn't really what red pilled me. No, what red pilled me was a Mexican girl, nice big boobs, maybe a 5 in the face, right? I wasn't Donovan at that point, guys. Got to cut me some slack here. So we were together for 3 weeks, and it was probably 2 weeks longer than I should have. Why did I stay with her for 2 weeks longer? The sex was good. So anyway, she was a bad mother. Her place was always dirty. And so I drove her to her place. I said, listen, Susie, this thing is going to have to end, blah, 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 blah. She was like, all right, cool. Okay, all right, awesome, excellent. So later on that day, I get on the phone with a mutual friend. I was like, yeah, talk to Susie. Strong voice, she's going out on a date tonight. I'm like, wait, what? This bitch told me she loved me like 5 days ago. What the hell is she going out on a date for? I was utterly baffled. I still didn't get it, guys. After my marriage, where my now ex-wife withheld sex from me for 1.5 years because we were in RCIA trying to become Catholic, and sex was sin in the eyes of God, right? To Amy, the 19-year-old, oh my God, who had a 6-year-old. We doing the math? Right? A 19-year-old with a 6-year-old. Do you want to know how old Dad was? Dad was my age, guys. Most people would know to run for the hills. Oh, no, not me. I was purple pill. I was getting it in. No, it was a bad experience. That didn't red pill me, okay? What truly red pilled me wasn't really Susie either. What really red pilled me is when I started becoming successful with women, and it started to get, I don't want to say boring, but it started to become more trouble than it's worth. Guys, a funny thing happens on the way to the fabled playa status, guys. You realize that you don't have to chase women to get women. Steve Dedeen, if you're in the audience, I'm going to steal your line. Women are merely a perk, gentlemen, and I am as guilty of breaking this particular edict as anyone out there. Don't get me wrong, guys. Listen, who loves fucking? Everybody loves fucking. Devin, keep your hand down. Right? We all love fucking. We are biologically wired to want to have lots of sex. But you have to understand that in 2019, women are a perk. Listen, women used to be critical to a man's life. They really did back in 1950, 1960, before first wave feminism. This is when men, oh, by the way, had the 3 pillars in place. They had their body, their mind, and their finances in order. And lo and behold, women were just available to them. Now, it was a different day and time, obviously. But if you have your body, your mind, and your finances in order, guys, I'm here to tell you, the women will come. And they'll also come to you. The point is, guys, is that women weaken these pillars if you chase them first. Let's start with the body, right? Let's say you build your body up. You're in great shape. Everything is good. You start fucking a fly-ass bitch. Yeah. You start to get a little bit relaxed because you're no longer really motivated to stay in shape because you're banging her every night. All right, so your body kind of goes to shit. What happens to people during breakups? What happens to men during breakups? A lot of us get fat or we get skinny if we do drugs. I may or may not be talking about myself, right? Women are great, but you gotta have a strong body, guys. Get your ass up and go to the gym at 5 in the morning. Don't be fucking her till 3 a.m. Don't stay in to fuck her instead of going to the gym. Women weaken bodies, guys. The mind, women will definitely weaken your mind because women will fuck with your mind. A lot of guys ask me, they say, Donovan, I just don't understand how it is these women get over on me. Why do I fall prey to all of the wiles of women? Well, it's because you want to have sex with them. That's it. Women are not these great, grandiose manipulators, guys. Women don't play mind games well at all. They suck at it. But why do they always trick us into doing shit we don't really want to be doing? Because we want to fuck them. If you have a strong mind, guys, pussy doesn't matter. I'm here to tell you, pussy's a perk. It is. I'm not saying don't go after it. I don't want you guys to, I got to come up with a new word for the MGTOWs, right? I don't want you to give up on that completely. But you have to understand you got to have your body, your mind, and finances in place. If you do these things, the women will come. And at that point, you might think to yourself, you know what? I have so much available, I might not really want it. So in closing, guys, what I want men to understand is that most of us find the red pill for one of two reasons. Either heartbreak or sexual frustration. How do I get my ex-girlfriend back, or how do I not get got? How can I get laid? How can I start having sex with more women? Donovan, I'm a virgin. I need to know how to have sex with women. All right, fair enough. But understand this, guys. If you guys are sort of new to this whole red pill community, don't chase women, guys, okay? Chase that body, chase that mind, and chase those finances. Guys, I'm not a fitness expert, all right? I'm not some sort of mental juggernaut, and I'm not a financial expert. But there are more than enough resources. There are more than enough men. There are men in this audience who could probably help you with all three at some point in time. You take advantage of those things, guys. You have to have these 3 pillars of masculinity. One of the pillars of masculinity is not women. Just because a guy, like I said, can sleep with a bunch of women doesn't mean that he's a masculine guy, right? Just because you have a bunch of women, damn sure doesn't mean you have money, doesn't mean you have a strong mind, doesn't mean you're good with finances either. Body, mind, finances. Yes, women are great to have, okay? But you have to invest in yourself first. Stop chasing women, guys. Chase excellence. Thank you. Looks like I went over. No, I'm 43 minutes. All right, I've got an hour. All right, cool. If anybody wants to ask questions, you guys can line up at the mic. My feelings aren't going to be hurt if nobody asks questions, I promise. I don't. Can I go backwards? No. There we go. Okay, all right, I don't see any questions. All right, well, that's it. Thank you, guys. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't see a damn. Oh, okay, we have 3 people. Thank you. Check's in the mail.
Hey.
Is that Elliot?
Yes, it is.
Holy moly. I'm a big fan, dude.
Unfortunately, I came a little late. I didn't get the 3 pillars. What are they?
Body, mind, finances.
Fuck yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
No problem. Elliot's got them all, guys.
Hey, so body and finances are pretty easy to assess, like how well you're doing with those. How would you assess like how you're progressing with the mind pillar? Yeah, it's mental strength
isn't really quantifiable. Mental strength is one of those things. You have to be present. You have to know when your mental strength is being tested. So, for example, I used to have a pretty raucous temper, right? Like I used to really pop off for just no reason at all. Well, I started seeing a therapist and, doing the whole anger management counseling, which may or may not have been, may or may not have been a court thing, but what ends up happening is when I find myself, for example, in a situation where I'm thinking I'm really gonna get pissed off, right? I have to be present. All right, I'm starting to get pissed off. When I get pissed off, my hands get hot, okay? If you guys watch me, I don't want to give my poker tell, but when I'm on the air, you guys can tell that my hands are getting hot if I start rubbing them together a little bit because they're getting hot, right? So the way I quantify, so to speak, how far along I am with my mental strength is that when situations arise where I know that I faltered in the past, I tend to handle them better. It's the same thing with girls, okay? If you go out and try to holler at girls, you're gonna get rejected. If you're mentally weak, you're not gonna get back out there, right? But if you're building mental strength, you're gonna have, I don't wanna say wherewithal, that's the wrong word. You're gonna have the stick-to-itiveness. You're gonna have the resolve to keep going. I think another marker of mental strength is resolved. When you get knocked down, when something doesn't go your way, when you get told no or something goes terrible, how do you handle it? Are you making good decisions? Do you know that you're making good decisions? Now, sometimes you can make bad decisions. Shit, I just fucked up. I just made a bad decision. Okay, you're making progress. At least you understood that. It's almost like the crazy pills. Crazy people don't know they're crazy. They start taking the crazy pills, then all of a sudden they start feeling better. Oh, I'm doing better. I don't need the crazy pills, right? Well, it's the same thing with mental strength. You have to continue to work at it. The way to build mental strength, like I said, is you have to put yourself in stressful situations or put yourself in situations where you know that you falter. That's the best answer I can give you. I am blind as a bat up here. Is that one more person? Oh, okay, cool. Yes, excellent.
So he kind of actually asked a very similar question to mine.
Okay.
So you mentioned the 3 pillars, and how does aspects of game and meeting women factor into this? Because it was mostly working on yourself and it bumps you up like 10 levels compared to the
Sure.
next guy. How do you where is the intersection kind of between working on yourself and then kind of using that to meet more women? How does that happen?
So the count is 3 and 1, and anybody who knows baseball knows that roughly 80 to 85% of the time, a 3-1 pitch is a fastball, right? This is very, very simple. Where the 3 pillars come into play, I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say a good-looking guy pulls up in his Lamborghini. He gets out, he's 6'4", it's obvious he's ripped. You can see the six-pack even through his t-shirt, right? So already, his body is right? Obviously, his money is right. As soon as a girl walks up to him and says, hey, how much did you rent that Lamborghini for? Right? That's the shit test that you're looking for. And again, shit test will test your mental strength. How much did you rent that Lamborghini for? Well, for a lot more than you would. Right? Now, a lot of guys in that situation, I've never been asked that because, I've driven I drove a Lamborghini once for like 20 seconds. It was fucking awesome. It was unbelievable. But where this crosses over with game is women love men who have nice bodies, good physiques. Women love men who are intelligent, right? Now, don't mistake me. Don't be Mr. Nerd guy who's 600 pounds, who's broke as a joke. Well, I want women to love me for my intelligence. No, not gonna happen, right? It's very important to develop your mental strength and intelligence, but when you build the 3 pillars, women are going to be naturally attracted to you. And I'll tell you something else. When you work on these and you start to see each pillar sort of building itself, you'll notice that you're getting a lot more attention from the opposite sex. And I mean all of them. The barista, maybe the girl at the CVS counter, maybe the girl that you pay for your gas, whatever the case may be. Now, at that point, now your mental strength kicks in. All right, she sees he's good looking. She sees his Audi's pulling up, he's pulling up in his Audi. Okay, so he looks like he's, got a little bit of money. Let's see if I can shit test. Hi, I'm Donovan. Boom, right? Mental strength. Dude, When's the last time you ever saw a man walk up to a woman he was clearly sexually attracted to, look her in the eye and introduce himself in such a way that implies that he's not looking for friendship, he's looking for something else? How many of us have seen that? Yeah, not many, right? Only the mentally strong can do that.
Thank you.
Hopefully that answers your question.
That's really similar to my question.
Oh, shit, there's one more.
One more. That's
I can't see shit up here, guys.
That's really close to my question too.
Okay.
I mean, it was great talk, Donovan. Maybe a little bit of a challenge here. So,
Okay.
where there seems to be like a little social piece missing from this. Maybe something to do with charisma
Yep.
and game. I even watched you guys on Red Man Group a while back talk about looks, money, and game.
Right.
Which is more important. So, you know, you kind of touched on it. You know, mental strength. Maybe you're equating to game.
Sure. Yep.
But, you know, I work in the technology industry. There's plenty of us who are pretty smart, have some good money, and we, on weekends, hit the gym, right?
Okay.
But nerds in Silicon Valley or whoever don't have any game.
Right.
And they maybe have resources and stuff. So there seems to be like some kind of a charisma piece or a game piece or something.
Yeah.
That, and maybe you're saying mental, you get that naturally.
Yeah.
It seems hard to do though.
Yeah, it is. Listen, let's make no mistake, guys. The 3 pillars of masculinity they're very difficult to achieve. Nobody masters mental strength. Nobody masters finances. Nobody gets down to 0. I don't even know if 0% body fat is even, whatever. You guys know what I mean, right? But, and I've heard this before. I don't know if you guys have heard this before. It's not really about the destination. It's about the journey. And I don't want to be chicken soup for the soul guy. I'm not trying to be fucking Mr. Oprah. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But when you start to work on these things, in a lot of cases, like I said, you're getting more opportunities. Not with just women. You're getting put in front of people, right? So I guess your question now is, okay, I've got the body, I think I've got the mental strength, and my finances are in order. So how do I build that charisma, right? Is that what you're asking? Okay, you tell me where you think I'm going. Mic check.
Okay, I could if the mic was on. Yeah, that is where I'm going, like how you build that charisma, if you have all those things. I can maybe see where you're going, where you might start to develop leadership of your own.
Okay.
If you have these pillars. I'm trying to put the pieces together here, but
I get it.
I think you should work on, working on yourself. You guys have debated what's more important, looks, money, or game.
Yeah, right.
And sometimes, depending on who you talk to, you included, I mean, you guys had the debate, and it was like, game is important.
Sure.
Because it gets you leadership, charisma. You can get money that way. You can, there's this interplay between all these things. So,
Right.
Game is important.
Yes. So do you think game is one of the 4 pillars? Is that what you're asking?
Maybe not. Yeah, I guess so. Because game is personality. The bottom line is we're social creatures.
Sure.
Humanity is full of examples where you got to get ahead by being social.
Of course, of course. Let me give you a couple of quick answers here. One is sort of passive, and one is, let's say aggressive. Whatever the opposite of passive is, assertive. Well, one is proactive, and one is just sort of reactive, right? What would your body language be like if you were a fat ass? Not very good, right? Well, if you weren't a fat ass, if you looked like an Adonis, you would have better body language, correct? Right,
Correct.
Of course, better body language, more opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. How can I put this? I'm trying to think of a story this guy told me. If you walked into a bar, right, or any place where there's people gathering, and you had $1 million in your pocket, what's your body language going to be like? What's your confidence going to be like? You're going to walk around like you got a 17-inch dick, right? Got $1 million in my pocket. You motherfuckers can't tell me nothing. Now, I understand that doesn't come naturally to some people. There are some men who have great bodies, they're mentally strong, and they've certainly got their financial house in order, but they're not really social creatures. This is where you have to lift in the gym with your mind. You have to put yourself in social situations. Well, Donovan, how do I do that? I don't want to go to bars or clubs. I talk about this all the time. Guys, if your financial house is in order, do activities. Join a bowling league. Join a softball league. Join a cooking class. Take a dance class. Take a yoga class. Take an improv class. What's the gender of dominance in most cooking classes, guys? It's women, right? If you want to learn how to talk to women, you need to put yourself in situations where there are going to be women around where they know that you're not there just to meet women. Okay, so there are some guys who volunteer just to meet women, but maybe not. Maybe he really is just a good guy, right? Oh, I wonder if he really is a good guy. Let me go over there and talk to him. By the way, I kind of like his traps today. You understand what you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, some guys have it. Some guys are natural with it. Some guys, listen, and I think more often than not, if you build up those 3 pillars, I think the charisma is going to come more naturally because you look better, right? You sound better. You're more mentally strong. You know you're educated. You know your financial house is in order. You know you can afford to do whatever you want or to do whatever it is that you think you want to do, right? If there's an emergency situation, you've got the game, you've got the frame. It creates automatic charisma. But if you're still lacking, do other things. Go out and do things. Join a dart league. Join I don't know, train a Schützen level German Shepherd. Go out there and listen, you want to learn mental strength? Yeah. Put yourself in situations where you have to deal with people. That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, listen, sometimes I can imagine for a lot of guys that can be very uncomfortable, but you have to listen, nobody wants to bench press 350 pounds, right? Elliot, where are you at? Right? Exactly. Well, let me use deadlift. I think your high deadlift's like 700 pounds. That's freaking ridiculous. I can't even imagine. Like my back is hurting just thinking about it, right? But it all, there you go. Listen, boom, right? You can't deadlift 700 pounds if you don't step to the bar, right? You understand what I mean? You cannot become socially dominant. You can't build charisma if you don't put yourself in positions that allows you to lift those weights. Again, dinner parties, bowling leagues, I mean, do it, dude. Anything you can think of that puts you in front of both men and women and just work the room.
Thanks.
I hope that answered your question. I've never really been like I've always had charisma, so.
That was great. Thanks.
Okay, all right. I'm self-conscious. Oh shit, there's one more.
One
okay,
more.
Cool.
Yeah, one more. Thank you for the talk.
Yeah.
It was great. My question is, I got in a little bit late, but you said that you didn't get red pilled until you started getting women. Before that, you were married, overweight, had those other issues. So you obviously divorced, moved on, you started getting women. Did you have these pillars in place once you started getting women, and then the red pill was a separate thing? Or
Wow, that is a very good question,
and if
man.
you didn't have the pillars in place, how'd you get the women if you didn't have them in place at that time? Thank you.
Here's something that's gonna bake your noodle, right? I didn't have the 3 pillars firmly in place when I was at the peak of playerdom, when I was having sex with more women than I've ever had in my life. My finances were doing okay, right? My body was definitely in good shape. I was definitely in good shape at that point, right? My mind, I don't know, maybe it was mentally strong. I still had some mental weaknesses. I was still flying off the hinge, getting in fights that I should have been getting into. I said all that to say this. The reason I say that I was red-pilled when I started becoming successful with women is because I understood how insignificant they were. Yes, we like women and we want to be with them. Like, I get that. But when you have the 3 pillars, you don't have to have all 3 pillars in place to be successful with women, guys. I'm here to tell you. Listen, if you're here looking for a shortcut, hey, change your body, change your life. But if you don't really want to change your life, you don't have to build the 3 pillars to get women. If you're a dumbass, if you don't want to learn anything, dude, hit the weights, you'll start sleeping with women. But guess what's lacking is your mind, right? Right? So now you're sleeping with women and a lot of them are playing mind games on you, right? Fucking you over. And then before you know it, you're right back to square one. So that's when you begin to realize, okay, well, I'm sleeping with a lot of women, but I'm still making these mistakes. Just because somebody can sleep with a lot of women, guys, does not mean they're red-pilled, okay? When you build the 3 pillars, again, I keep saying it, body, mind, finances. Any one of those can get you women, right? But if you have all 3 firmly in place, you're not going to be susceptible to really all the bullshit that comes with it. Right now, finances, I'm solid. Mind, I'm rock solid. Body, It's a work in progress, but it's a lot better than it used to be. Even though I'm sleeping with one woman now, guys, I gotta tell you, and I know it's easy for a guy like me to say, as I've got 30 seconds left, it's easy for a guy like me to say that women aren't important because I've had a lot of success with women. But I gotta tell you guys, I am more content with me right now than I've ever been in my life. And I promise you, it has nothing to do with girls, man. And listen, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, yeah, but listen, girls make life better. They really, really do. There's no question about it. But if you build the 3 pillars, you don't really need girls because girls are gonna make themselves available to you. I don't know if you can make any sense of that, right? But whatever that guy's question was, I can't see him anymore. I don't know if he's still standing up there. What it comes down to is that we all want to be red pill because we want more women. But the more you sort of dive into it, the right kind of content, the more you understand that it's not really the women that make you red pilled. It's the 3 pillars. The 3 pillars of masculinity. Say it with me, guys. Body, mind, women. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Donovan.